Oh, I don't. Let's see here. Ah, there we go. I hadn't added myself to the show yet. I was looking at a black screen. What's going on? What's going on? There's a black screen. What's going on? Hello, everybody. Hi, Jason here with Green Country Agriforestry. It's 8:30 p.m. on a Wednesday night, which means it's time for yet another live stream. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm doing pretty good. Exciting times we're living in, huh? Wow. I'm telling you what. So, coming out of this Polar Vortex thing, we didn't have any pipes break. Yay. Although I heard that a lot of places they did have broken pipes because a lot of places didn't shut their water off as those temperatures were coming. I mean, a lot of the pipes in this part of the world are buried just a couple feet below the ground. So you get those temperatures that drop down into the single digits and it will freeze them. So you just have to, be aware of the limitations of the tech and what the weather is. So hi. So we got our water turned back on. Everything's fine. I've got little Black Betty in the pet kennel over there with a. Yeesh, she's plotting an escape. I gave her a little pet toy. It's like a little fish, has a little crinkly sound whenever you play with it. It's got catnip in it and everything. So hopefully she'll play with that and be happy instead of jumping on the green screen. Sergeant is just curled up next to me, happy as a clam to be indoors because it's still a little chilly out tonight. Starting tomorrow night and for a few nights after, it's going to be warmer out, and the usual outdoor cats can go back outside. It's about time. Bilbo, on the other hand, he had his trip to the vet yesterday. Was it? No. Yes, yesterday. Wow, yesterday was his trip to the vet. I took him yesterday morning and dropped him off there. It's the Tulsa County SPCA clinic. They don't do any fancy vet work. It's just rabies shot, spay, neuter, all that good stuff. Donations help defray some of the costs, but it's pretty much the cheapest place to go and have this work done. But we're going to talk a little bit today about what we did with Bilbo. Hi, Bilbo. How you doing? How you doing, sir? Would you like to come over and say hello to the good people? You want to come over and say hello? Or do you just want to rest? It's up to you, buddy. You want to come over and say hello? He's a feral cat. You have to ask his permission. Pardon me, sir. Would you like to come over and say hello to the good people over here? Want to come over here? Want to come over here, be a lap cat for a minute? For just a minute? Maybe later? Okay. He says maybe later. Maybe later. Mary says cheap surgery makes me nervous. So we took him in, dropped him off at 8:30 in the morning. They did the surgery. I picked him up about 4 in the afternoon. He was a little bit out of it whenever I picked him up. But he perked up after about an hour or two. We equipped him with his first collar. I was going to let him come over whenever he felt like it. We equipped him with his first collar. Yeah, he's like, I don't want to be seen in public with this thing on. We equipped him with his first collar. You see, it's this little pink one that he's got here, a little bell on it. So whenever he's moving around with it and is struggling with it and runs the risk of knocking the e-collar off, I'll hear it and know that it requires my attention because I don't want him to pull his stitches out, right? Because he's an outdoor cat. He's gonna have to learn how to be tough and strong and fierce to fight off the mean gophers and the rats. And isn't he handsome? Oh my gosh, he's so handsome. So what they did, and if you're sensitive to this sort of thing, I'm not going to show you anything nasty. But if you're squeamish about the concept, what they did is they shaved here, and he's not happy when he's showing this. They made an incision in his abdominal cavity, right? And they used that, I'm presuming, a laparoscopic technique, or maybe that was a practice for spayings, to get at the stuff inside to do what needed to be done. And he's not happy with the collar at all. He's, as you can see, not. This is not a happy cat, or no, he's completely chill. he's completely chill. You run the risk of becoming a lap cat, sir. I tell you what. Boy. All right. Oh, come on. Boy. Really? He's like, I'm happy. He's not on meds. I got extra meds for him just in case, right? Just in case. But he seems to be doing okay. He was a little rambunctious at first. I was worried he was going to pop a stitch, but he's doing all right now. And I'm going to let him go back to having himself a snooze in this chair over here. If you would be so kind, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
He's still not happy with me.
Support all of them.
All kinds of
stretching puts like strain on those stitches. So like pick up both halves. Be gentle. All right. Anyway, all right. So the idea behind having outdoor cats, what they're for rodent control. If you're going to be growing this environment out here that's going to be full of living things, food, particularly for you, it's also going to be food for rodents. Rodents bring snakes, and if you don't want snakes in your house, you're going to want some cats around. Now, the cats will take a little bit of a toll on the birds, but they're going to go after those rodents. They're going to go after gophers. They're going to go after moles. They're going to go after voles. They're going to go after mice. Did I mention gophers? They probably are not going to do much about groundhogs, but the groundhogs might think twice before hanging out where there's a bunch of cats. It might be somewhat of a deterrent. I don't suspect they're going to go after them, but it's a possibility that they'll have a dispute over living space, if nothing else. And that's kind of the idea. Whenever you have male cats that have been neutered that are localized to an area, they're still territorial, right? They're still going to get in scraps with other cats. Usually you can have a couple of males that are going to get familiar with each other to the point where they can ally and be okay. If they're both neutered, you're fine. Your area is going to be free from other male cats for a while because they'll run them off. Females, on the other hand, are going to come in and do their thing, and usually they're going to be okay with the females being around. As a result, occasionally you're going to wind up with a female coming around and dropping off kittens, which is how we got our latest batch. Right? Sasspress is saying that he has dogs that hunt voles and shrews. And yeah, if you've got a dog that's good at that job, that would be a good kind of dog to get. You're thinking about getting a dog. Get a dog that's going to be a good ratter, or get a dog that's going to be maybe a good coon dog, maybe something that's good for tracking and hunting. If you like to eat fresh waterfowl, get one that can do some retrieving work. Get a dog for work. If you're going to get a dog for work and use it for that work. Don't get these silly breeds. Come on. Silly breeds. Vicky says, as of yesterday, the bulldog, your bulldog, I imagine, permanently retired from breeding. Yeah. You put them out there, they're fixed, so they're going to keep some of the competitor cats away. Otherwise, you're going to have who knows what for competitor cats, and you just have constant more and more cats showing up. Ideally having enough spayed males in a broader area should keep the influx of new cats down a bit. But you know how it is. They're cats. They're wild animals. Things happen. So this guy, Sergeant, hi. How you doing, sir? I'm gonna pop up and say hello. Like, dude, I was asleep. But you know, like lap cat opportunities, I'm always down for lap cat opportunities. This guy has always wanted to be a lap cat his entire life, right? Sergeant Crybaby. He's 17 years plus old. I don't know exactly how old it is. We've had him for 17. He had one trip to the vet a long time ago, and that was it. He's been an outdoor cat ever since. So apparently they can make it. They can make it as outdoor kitties and be feral but social, I think is the right way to put it. Feral but social. Yeah. All right. No, you're not going to be a lap cat all night. I just wanted to show you off to the people. I know I exploited you, sir. I exploited you. I apologize. I'm sorry. Yeah. Just go back to your nap, sir. All right. but I'll give you some extra kibble later. It'll be fine. Hi, Bill. What you doing, Bill? Is she playing with the fish toy?
She's just loafing.
She's loafing. All right.
Okay, Paul's curled up underneath her.
I see.
She's not meowing or anything.
Not meowing or anything.
She's just loafing.
Bilbo came over. I'm petting him down here. All right. So let me jump up here and chat. I just wanted to chat with people for a bit. Let's see. Vicky is Sassafras, Caroline's Food Forest. Mary's in the house. Joe popped in. Hi, Joe. Here early. Wow. Yeah. Los Gatos. Los Gatos. Mary says the new dog is scared of everything in the truck. Okay, sir. Okay, fine. Apparently he wanted upseas. Hi. Okay. This is what I have to do now. See, because I know, right? Because I was so rude to put this collar on him, he can't scratch his cheeks now, so I have to do it, right? It's my responsibility. That's I'm not going to get any sleep tonight again. I can already tell. He's going to come up and he's going to meow at me like every 5 minutes. Oh, hey, I need this. I want to go get a drink now. I want food. Can I get some food? I have itchies. Take care of the itchy. You were turning into a pet. You're supposed to be a fierce monster. You're supposed to be a top predator. What did? Oh no! Oh no! He's decided he wants to be cute. Okay, let's see. John's in the house. Hi, John. Elton Butterfield says Anunnaki spies. Who? These guys? Maybe. I don't know. I thought they were supposed to be bird-like, but then again, you know, the rules for those old for those old frescoes and statues and stuff, whenever they depicted the man with the bird head or the man with the snake head or the man with the dog head, the idea was it was supposed to be an iconography showing the mental state of the person. So they have a ruler that has a bird head. It means, you know, he's what does that mean? He's warlike, hawk-like. If it was the ibis head, then he's more of a scholar and a philosopher, right? If you're Egyptian, that would be the difference there. But different cultures had kind of different meanings to what that mind was and how they represented it. So there weren't actually men with the heads of jackals walking around in ancient times. He had a jackal's mind. What is a jackal like? What's a pack of jackals like? Yeah. So that tells you something about the nature of the person just from the statue, and they didn't have the facial features. We assume that they're, you know, human, right? All right. There you go. Well, that's fortunate, right? You have a livestock protector that knows the difference between the ones that are pets and the ones that aren't. A lot of times you get them socialized. They kind of get the idea of what you want them to do. Occasionally you have to thump them in the head if they get unruly. Give them a good solid no. Disapproving glares work as well, apparently. I mean, you should see some of the ones you get from this guy. If I'm not scratching him whenever he wants it. Oh gosh, you're just getting spoiled. You're getting spoiled, kid. Look at this. He is spoiled. Spoiled. Oh my. Catsploitation for the clicks. Yeah. Look at this face. Oh, look at this face. Look at this face. So of course we had to get him the pink color, right? That's so whenever he does succeed in knocking this thing off, it's a breakaway collar. When he does succeed in knocking it off, it'll make it easier for me to spot. It's bright pink. That's the reason for it. It's not because I wanted to embarrass him. It's just so I can find it easier. That's all. Yeah, Mary's got a high. Oh, he wants to come up and say hello. More hi. The camera's right there. Camera's up there. No, you're not going to type messages. No playing on the keyboard right now. I know you want to chat. He wants to chat, right? You're going to chat. No, you're not. You don't know because you can't spell properly. You don't know how to spell anything. Jeez. see him. He can like typing LOL. LOL. Mary's asking why Betty's in the box climbing. Because whenever she's out, she attacks the green screen and drags it to the ground. She did it like 2 or 3 times the last time. I was like, you can see the pigsty that is the rest of the house. All right. Have a pit bull cat hanging around. Never a petted a cat that's solid muscle. This cat is stout. He's got a thick neck. Oh my gosh. He's got a thick neck. I think he'll do great out there, and he might even give the groundhogs a run for their money. If you do get a groundhog, bring it back and share, mister. I hear they're tasty. All right. Yeah, Sergeant's over here going, man, I have waited like 16 years of my life to become a lap cat, and you just walk right in, and it's easy street for you. I'm not amused. I'm not amused. That's what Sergeant's saying. Okay, sir. Kimber was supposed to send you off over that way to do lay down things over there. Why are you over here being in my lap? What's up with this? Oh. I may be stuck with a cat in my lap for a bit. Apparently, I don't know if he's going to want to go outside when it's time for him to go back outside. That's my worry. Oh, I missed the first part of what Vicky had said. Hang on, I have to zoom up here. Oh, way up here. Rescue dog. All right, here we are. Rescue dog. French bull pup from a recently closed pupping. Oh, yeah. Was a breeder and specialist. Yeah, they very rarely are well treated. People treat animals so horribly. They really do. Yeah. And turn back up after the worst of the cold pass, back to skin and bones. He's not straying, but he's being very well fed. Okay. Yeah, best thing for a dog is to have range to run and be a dog in. You know? You give a dog range to run, be a dog in, and socialize him so he knows that you're his people and they're the greatest thing ever. Keeping dogs in tiny enclosed spaces is not nice. Apartments. Apartments in the middle of the city. What kind of a life is that for a dog? Carol saying he took his testosterone away, so now he can't be a lion. I'll bet he'll find a way. I'll bet he'll find a way. But he's really well socialized for a feral cat, isn't he? He goes, who you calling feral? I'm a pet now. Ha. All right. Anyway. Sooner you get your tax done, sooner you get your refund, barring paying for illegal immigrants. Probably next tax year. Oh boy. Tell you what. If you guys hadn't watched, go over to Swivelhead News, and somebody that's got a wrench, go ahead and drop the link down there. Swivelhead News, Greg's channel, just did a bit on what's been coming across the border. I'm not going to say anymore because this is a monetized channel. we won't go into that stuff too much here because, yeah. Oh my gosh, look at this. What's this? Oh, really, sir? Okay. Herp. Hi. Okay. So we now have a happy kitty. Sastra so drove to Rolla to get that dog. He was raised around chicken, lived in a coop as a pup. Rolla by Nixa. Or a different Rolla. Could be a different Rolla. I mean, shoot. Illinois has got a Springfield. Missouri's got a Springfield. Kansas got a Kansas City. Oh, okay. Missouri's got the same Kansas City. It's just the other side. Some people need to wait for Congress to decide on a new tax credit. I haven't received my my tax forms yet. We made a little bit of money. I mean, a little bit, like enough to pay for internet. Yay! I guess that's good, right? I mean, I was going to be growing a garden anyway. So if what I make off of showing growing a garden is enough to pay for the camera and the internet to show it, then I guess it's worth it. Let Bilbo chat. Yeah, that's why they made spell check. That's funny. That's funny. He's just really interested in what I'm doing up here, right? Because you're doing something up here. I want to mimic it. I had a parrot once that would do it. She'd type. I this is back in the days of dial-up, right? I had somehow no, I'm pretty sure I had not left my dial-up connection connected. Went off to work, and at the time I had a parrot. It was a Quaker parrot, one shorter lived species. They're not quite, they're more like 20, 30-year-olds, top age. I mean, they die a lot earlier than that, but they when they get old, they can get that old. They're not like the macaws that can live maybe longer than their owners. Anyway, this guy likes to chatter. He'd say a few words in clear speech that you could actually really understand, and the rest of the time he muttered under his breath like Popeye. And occasionally you'd listen to that mutter and realize that there was intelligent speech behind it. And usually he was griping about something whenever he talked like that. The rest of the time, he'd make very clearly enunciated words and try to be cute. But this bird, while I was away at work, had gone over to the keyboard, logged on to Messenger, messaged one of my friends, and kept on going, I'm going to hit a couple letters on the keyboard and then hit enter. I hit a couple letters on the keyboard and hit enter. He didn't know what he was writing, but he knew it's always these things that you have to do and then that. And so my friends go, Jason, is that you? Are you okay? What's going on? I get back home and I see this message log and I look over and go, okay. Sorry, the bird managed to get on the computer, and so then I had to just shut it down or put him in the cage. And I hated putting him in the cage, but if you don't, these sometimes these critters, if you keep them in your house, they can figure out ways to get into mischief. Parrots like to chew on things a lot. Did I mention they like to chew on things? It's part of their natural behavior. Whenever they're making a nest, they'll chew a hole in the side of a tree, and they'll make their nest cavity in the side of the tree. And then later on, whenever they abandon that nest, some other creature can come in, maybe a lemur or something, and live in that same nest in the hollow of the tree. And so you've got animals that are working in your ecosystem, and they're all doing work, right? All doing work. Of course, the cat down here, top predator, well, smallish top predator. He's going to keep a lot of these other little things in check. And of course, the thing that humans do whenever we spay or neuter these things and let them go wander is keep the overall cat population from becoming catastrophic. No pun intended. I mean, too many cats in too small of an area is an ecological disaster. But a couple are just what the doctor ordered if you want to make sure your house isn't getting overrun by venomous snakes. So, I mean, that's why we formed this wonderful association with felines way back when. Like we had formed an association with canines and a few other animals that you see hanging around us fairly often. But cats, they seem to hang around us because they like us, which is kind of, I don't know. I like that about them. Maybe other people don't. They like the fact that dogs always love you no matter what. The dog is happy to see you, right? Cats, they have to like you. But they're interesting animals. A lot of animals are capable of communication. It's just we don't speak their language, right? But we can discern a few things about them. We can look at them and figure out what's going on. And if we're all operating under, let's say, natural law, we can avoid a lot of harmful incidents with human animal interactions whenever we have humans and wild animals. Like, I swear, he is a feral cat. he is a feral cat. He was dropped off and abandoned by his mother, lived under our house for a few days, and then we pulled a sticker out of his foot, and he said, "Oh, you people are okay. I think I can trust you."
But now he doesn't want to get off your lap.
But he's not domesticated. I keep telling myself, right? he is just a sweetie. But I'll bet you dollars to donuts he'll tear through a rat like nobody's business. Well, I already know because I've already fed him his first one. I managed to catch one out there by the duck hut and brought it and said, "Here, snap." He was off with it. A few days later, we found just the head. He apparently knows what his job is, and it is all about it. He eats well, very well.
All cats and dogs are good stuff.
Thank you, Carolyn. He is, isn't he? He's so adorable. He's so adorable for a monster. For a monster. I don't think anybody can tell Bill. No, have you seen his? I'm not going to pick him up. He's cozy right now. He's just completely chill. He's laying in my lap. He's happy. He's happy. Hey, we got Connor at Homestead in the house. Hi. We're talking about maintaining outdoor ecosystems and the role that the domesticated feline, or maybe a semi-feral but somewhat socialized feline, plays in it. What?
Betty's trying to be a monkey, climbing all the way to the top and trying to hang upside down on the top of the cage.
Did you see the little black monstrosity in the cage in there?
No, you can't see her.
You can't see her? Oh, okay. Oh, you're going to take her out and show her off? Okay.
She is fully grown.
Are you sure?
Yes, this is just as big as
How old is she?
She's a couple months younger than Bilbo.
So 8 months?
Yes. And
so she's old enough to get pregnant.
Yep.
Okay, so we have to maybe keep an eye on her for a month or two to make sure, that that has not happened.
But she's not going to get any bigger than a couple months old cat.
For you guys who haven't met her yet. This is Black Betty. Yes, like the song. Actually, I kind of like the old Leadbelly version. You guys know the old Leadbelly versions? I mean, this is an old song, so it's public domain. But it's Black Betty, Black Betty, Black Betty, Black Betty. Not the way. Who's the other one?
I have no idea.
Ram Jam or something like that. Yeah,
I don't know.
Completely different. But the old it was an old spiritual type song. But you would hear it on plantations back in those days. Okay, spilling a little bit of history. Back in those days, some of the plantation owners did not want the human beings that were living on the plantation to reproduce without permission. So they forbid the fraternizations of the males and the females. So in order for a couple to demonstrate to themselves and to the other people that by rights ought to be free on those plantations, they would jump over a broom together, which would be the equivalent of kissing. And then, later on, when no one's watching, knowing that they were jumping over the broom together, they would go off and entertain each other if they could. So in the Leadbelly song, it has Black Betty, Black Betty, Black Betty jump steady, and I was like, oh, that's what that was about. That's pretty cool. Anyway, little old music history there. Old music history. There we go. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, when it comes time for her vet appointment, we'll have to keep an eye on her.
Vicky's not afraid of the IRS. They owe her. Do they know? Oh.
Betty, you play with that curtain?
Yeah, it's a mess, huh?
Kitty cage.
It's a mess. I saw and you guys, I'm gonna scratch my nose for no particular reason. I saw a bit on another show was it yesterday, day before, maybe it was the day before yesterday, where the host had put up a brief video, and in this brief video, it showed army ants that had gotten caught into a spiral. There's a lot of bad ideas that people have gotten into their heads, and unfortunately, those bad ideas reinforce themselves, so that you have people just going around in this continuous spiral, which eventually leads to nowhere and destruction. And we try to help them whenever we see them and embracing bad ideas and go, hey, you might not want to go that way. It doesn't lead anywhere. But ants do that, right? They follow the pheromone trail and follow each other around in a circle, around in a circle, around in a circle. Occasionally they'll break free and go off, but there's a good possibility that once they get going into a spiral like that, the ant mill will result in the death of large numbers of the colony, which would be sad if you were an ant and were an emotional being. All right. Rolla, Missouri. Okay, yeah. That's that. Whenever you said you drove down to Rolla, I was like, I've been through there. Yep. That's really interesting. I tried my best to explain to him what was getting ready to happen and the reason why we had to put him into the cage, because before he goes in for the surgery, he's got to go without eating and drinking for a few hours. That way he doesn't asphyxiate from
12 hours.
12 hours, yeah. Asphyxiate from the anesthesia. Or have further complications. Obviously, they're going to be doing a little into the abdominal cavity surgery. I didn't know they were going to do that, sir. Sorry, I just thought they were going to go from the backside. I mean, every time I did it on the farm, it was from the backside. But you don't want to do that with a cat or a dog, because they're never going to trust you afterwards, ever.
Jason. I always had it done from the back side.
Yeah.
Right on the side.
Oh. But I mean, we'd neuter goats and other livestock, but typically they're going to be bound for the butchery before long, right? But not these guys. We want them to still be social and trust us later on. Anyway, so I tried my best to explain to him why he was going in there and why he wasn't getting any food and why he wasn't getting any water, and gave him enough attention to let him know he hadn't done anything wrong. And although, yeah, he's being in a cage and he hasn't done anything wrong, it's kind of a violation. I hope he can understand why he's in there. And he seemed to have come through it okay. I think they understand English. If they don't understand the English, maybe they can kind of understand our intent whenever we talk to them. Catastrophe. Hey, yes, good news. The spring will return. I'm going to have extra cats in the house, apparently. Because so Bill's taken care of, but Betty needs to be to be spayed if she's going to go out there and not become a mama cat. We have enough wild cats around already. We don't need more mama cats right now. So either we got to have her trip to the vet, or I've got to turn her into an indoor kitty. And she can become a dedicated indoor kitty. But she is rambunctious.
She's also very tiny.
Yeah, she's tiny. She's rambunctious.
But she's
she would be great for getting into those burrows and going after some burrowing critters. I think that would be what she's good at.
And you always have Ezra for now as an indoor main kitty.
Yeah, but Ezra bit me.
Ezra didn't bite you.
Yeah, Ezra bit me.
Oh, yeah,
He bit the
okay.
top of my foot. It's all healed up. That salve works wonders,
He was
guys.
trying to be
It works wonders. All right.
a barn kitty. He's trying to do you a
Ah.
favor.
Coyotes help with the other overpopulation of cats. Oh, also if you have cats that have light markings, white stripes, or all white cats, owls will go after cats if they're out at night. And cats like to be out at night. Owls are out at night, and an owl will take out a cat. So your outdoor kitties should be dark. So Betty's good for that. He's good for that. He'll be fine. You won't have to worry about owls getting him. Hmm. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's talking about animal communications. All the animals out there, they live under natural law. Um, there are predator and prey relationships, but other than the predator and prey relationships, whenever animals encounter each other and they go, "Oh, this is your territory. Yeah, this is my territory. Oh, okay. I'll go over here and respect your territory." There may be a clash briefly whenever people try to figure out who can take something and not who cannot take something. You know what I mean? Humans, though, we have the ability to do these sort of things a lot less violently. We have a lot more ways to communicate than the animals do. The animals have a very limited range of communication. If we're going to be frank about it, right? There are very few things that they can do. They can go, I'm here. This is my place. And also, are you sure this is your place? I think this is my place. And they're going to get into that sort of argument. They don't have a lot of ways to say, hey, look, if you look around, you can see the improvements I've made here. Obviously, I've been living here. I don't mind you being a neighbor, but this is my spot. Would you like to move right over here? It's nearby, and we can go fishing together. I know a great place. Boom! All of a sudden, conflict resolved between humans. A little bit harder for animals to sort those sort of things out. But yeah, generally speaking, human beings having that empathic capability allows us to do many more things than the animals could possibly dream of doing. Quaker parrots, maybe. But then again, I believe that the gray parrots got into to Mexico, didn't they? But they taste an awful lot like chicken. It's the gray talking chicken. Yeah, I think was a feral cat now. Yeah, was a feral cat. Ooh, oh, that's my leg, sir. Ouch. Pardon me. Would you like to go explore a bit? Take care of some kitty stuff. There you go. Off you go, sir. Yeah. What? No, go do kitty stuff. Go get a drink of water. Aren't you thirsty? You've got to be thirsty by now. Go on, get a drink of water. Eat some food out of that dish over there. Aren't you hungry? You gotta be hungry or thirsty or something, right? What do you? Yeah. I'm not getting any sleep tonight. I'm not. It's not happening. It's not happening. uh, yeah. Yeah, cats are amazing at getting rid of snakes, and we do occasionally get the rattlesnake here. Mainly, our biggest snake that would be venomous here would be a copperhead, and copperhead bite can make you very sick, and if you're old or already weakened, it could put you in a dangerous position. So, the fewer of those, the better. Right? He has spooky, googly eyes. She stares a little too intensely. She's like, I see you. I see you. Yeah, you. Like, ooh, she scared me.
Correction, that's not the biggest snake we have on property.
Oh yeah. There is a very, very large snake on the property. Let's not bring her out.
Obviously, Brennan's sleeping right now.
There's that, and there's not enough room for me, the snake, and the screen. Okay, it's a pig. They have a python.
Reticulated python.
Yeah, we've been keeping this reticulated python. They've been keeping this reticulated python.
She's worth more than this house.
That's debatable.
She's at the
she's only worth more than the house if somebody's willing to pay more than the house for her.
Her babies can go for $1,500.
Can is one thing.
And depending on what other snake we breed, it can go up to $2,000.
Oh my. Oh, okay. So, Kimber, who's off screen here, her and Brendan are working on one of their future homesteading project. One of their income streams is going to be the breeding of exotic reptiles. Oh joy! And they have one that's staying with us at the moment. she's a pretty snake. She really is. I just don't like snakes.
Yeah, she's about close to 10 feet in weight.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They have, like, just like dogs, they got their place in nature. They're supposed to do a job, and I'm happy with them doing the job. I just don't like living with them. That's the smell that they. Ugh. I don't know what it is. They have kind of a musk about them that just. It might. Okay, I know what it might be. I was pranked once when I was much younger on my school swim team. It was like a long holiday weekend, and somebody had taken a snake and put it in a plastic bag in my locker at the pool. And so whenever I got back after the long weekend, it was not a pleasant experience. And that smell, whenever I catch a whiff of it, I just relive the entire full effect, and I don't like it. Otherwise, snakes are wonderful out there in the wild doing their jobs, and they're not slimy, they're smooth, and they've got their particular habits and stuff, and you can learn how to live with them. I just don't want to live with them in my house. Ordinarily, especially the ones that like to bite. Now the constrictors are a lot easier to live with, because I mean, if they do bite, they're probably not gonna hurt you much unless you get an infection. But we got stuff to treat infections. Anyway, all right, here we go. Oh my gosh. Hello there's taken off. Thanks. I'm sorry. We're still trying to get down. How far down is comments anyway? All right. I'm talking about roads. Hey, I think the Incas built some roads that are still around too, and they may be better than the Roman ones. I think I read somewhere that the Incin Roads went actually further in distance than all of Rome's roads, which is kind of impressive. Imagine an alternate history where the Incans are the ones that had gone over and settled, colonized the New World. The New World, of course, is our old world. But maybe this is the old world too. We just, the Europeans call it the New World because it's new to them. All right. The chat's all. I'm looking through chat and looking at a few things that I'm not going to mention out loud because of reasons. The chat's always the best part, isn't it? But yeah, roads they were expressly built for military purpose. Think about Rome, and this is one of the things I love doing whenever I get on these strategy games. I love strategy games, especially ones where you're doing civilization building. It's fun. The way you go about building really has a great impact upon whether your civilization is going to flourish or whether it's going to fall or not. So the Romans were very, very intentional with their building, and that was one of the reasons they were able to expand and to extend their power the way they were. Now, of course, they were not very moral in the way they went about expanding, extending their power. It's a lot better to export ideas and good ideas to foreign cultures than to try to conquer them militarily. But of course, some of Rome's ideas are still around to this day. Obviously, we have the road systems that were really the great Roman invention that makes these super states possible. Keep in mind, though, super states do have their downsides, as people around the world many times have discovered in the world wars. We've had 3 that we know of. 4 if we're going to count the one in the old 5. But unless the Hopi were talking about the same one that the old Indians in India were talking about, the Ramayanas, I think it was. They were talking about people in flying machines bombing each other. Well, the weapons described sounded like bombs. It was horrible. But that would have been a world war if it was indeed involving people on multiple continents. Then, of course, we have the what they called the 7 Years' War. Here in the United States, if you're watching from the United States, you may be familiar with this from U.S. history. It's called the French and Indian War. Broke out a little bit earlier than the rest of the 7 Years' War, so it was kind of like preemptive or part of the overall conflict, which involved 5 continents. It was a world war. We just didn't call it World War One. Then, of course, we had the event following the Austria-Hungarian War, where some Serbs were not too happy with Austria being occupying their territory, and so they took extreme exception and killed Franz Ferdinand was his name. Oh, this cat is out of the cage. How did this happen? Why is Betty out?
She kept trying to hurt herself on the cage.
Did she? Oh.
Kept trying to break her claws the way she was talking about.
Well, you're going to have to chillax for a bit, young lady. You're going to have to chillax. Aw. You see, she's not inclined to allow me to turn her upside down and give her belly rubs the way Bilbo is. She is a lot more feisty. Yes, you are. Aren't you? Aren't you? Yes, you are. Here, would you kindly take this? I don't want her pulling down the green screen. That's why we put her in the kennel. All right. Anyway, what were we talking about? Building roads? Yes. What else? Nation states, trouble with nation states. Oh, world wars. That's where we were at. World wars. Yeah. So the 7 Years' War, that was really actually the first World War. Involved 5 continents, multiple nations. Actually, more nations involved in that one than were involved in what we're calling the First World War, with Archduke Ferdinand getting assassinated by Gavril Princip as the catalyst for that mess. Called that one the war to end all wars, right? But no, they followed up after that one with another one because somebody at Versailles decided they were going to make the German people feel compromised and put them into a position where their economy would wind up collapsing. That was really brilliant, guys. Don't do that again, ever, please. The resulting war was, of course, what we're calling the Second World War. It came with a huge cost in human life. Hopefully we can learn a few lessons from the past, right? But just in case we don't learn those lessons from the past, get out there and get growing. Start planting your garden. Get your trees in the ground. Get your perennials out there so you have a steady and reliable source of food that's going to function regardless of whether this wonderful modern world that we love to live in keeps going the way it's been going or not. Just saying, having a little security is a good idea. Oh, I guess you're going to have to let her out, and I'm going to have to hold her or something. Do you hear that? Do you hear that whine? You guys hear that, right?
Like I said, she's trying to break her claws.
I
the
can't.
Way she's trying
We'll
to
get her out and hand her to me, or hold on to her yourself. I don't know. I can't leave her. I can't leave her in there, but I can't let her run around and pull down the green screen either. You want to hold her, or do you want me to?
You'll have to hold her because I'm in the middle of a quest right now.
Oh, video games. Video games. All right, Betty. All right, Betty. You can be out here, but you cannot run around and. Why are you so cold? What's the deal here? You not run around and get rambunctious and get into stuff. Yes, just that. All right. So Where are we at? The wise thing to do is to build civilization, not to destroy it. Correct? Yes, correct. We want to build civilization. And the best way to build civilization is to respect the rights of the individual. Why is the rights of the individual the greater good? Oh my goodness. I think we're going to go there. You're going to get a lot of this sort of talk over at Green Greg's, probably more on Swivelhead News whenever we do some interviews. I am writing a book on moral philosophy. I toss that out there. It's coming out. It's going to be called Without Rule of Law, WROL. And of course, it's covering the entire problem that we have where we're worried about. Hi, I tell you what. Hey, I like you. Would you kindly not pull on the green screen, please? That's what you do. Would you behave? Can you? Please? Thank you. All right. No promises. No promises at all. So we want to work on the things that are necessary to preserve the civil society and you know, pass down the benefits and blessings of liberty and prosperity for really everyone, if at all possible, and to do it in a peaceful way and a lawful way. Yay. So some of these things it's kind of hard to talk about on monetized platforms without hitting the rails, so we just don't. We'll cover that elsewhere where it's more an informative thing. Anyway, there's a difference between work and a job. Oh, isn't that right? Yeah, there's the things that I do for money, and then there's the things that's my real job. My real job doesn't really pay in dollars. I'm just kidding. Sorry. You guys are having a different conversation. Mine's the best weapon. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's one of the best tools, right? Learning how to imagine early on really saved me because I did not have a happy little childhood. If I did not learn how to use my mind and my imagination, I would have been in bad shape. Oh yeah. I agree with this concept. Give me time over money any day. Yeah, I can do I can do a lot more with a bit of extra energy, right, from a few additional people than I could do with money, which is of course the reason why we pay for labor, right? So you recognize the value of the labor and go, okay, I'm going to go invest in that. I want that. No one can pay what my time is worth. All right. Well, yeah, and whenever you have specialized skills, or you realize what the real value of your time is, you have to do things because you see the value in what you're doing. And sometimes you have to do things that you see the value in, even if other people don't see the value in it. Like, why don't I want to do that? Why for so little money? Like, because I'm trying to accomplish something a little bit more. Yeah. Carol says, please come get all the pythons out of the Everglades. Okay, that's no. Sergeant, really? Sergeant. Oh my gosh, Sergeant is now sabotaging the green screen from behind.
I'm coming into the rescue.
Thank you, appreciate it. Oh my gosh. He's like,
Mr. Feisty Butt.
So that was
Mr. Old Feisty Butt.
Okay.
And Bilbo's being the only good child.
Yeah, Bilbo's the only well-behaved one in the room. Yes.
Right now.
Sasspress says snakes taste like chicken.
Yeah, if you see right below that, I said no.
Oh no. Yeah. How far from the NRA?
Like 6-7 minutes.
All right.
It is 4 minutes. My bad.
4 minutes. All right. We're not
9:26.
It's not all men ever think about Rome. Well, it's something that we need to consider, is because we've been suffering from the consequences of having nation states for a while now. Like the people that first came into contact with the nation state whenever it arose, I think places like Rome, realized that this was not really a good thing to fall under the influence of. But for some reason, we keep on building them and then setting them off against each other, which just seems like a horrible way to run a planet. Just saying. I think building a society that has the law within the individual is probably the best way to go, instead of trying to dictate it from above with supermassive states. Saying this better security. If I don't have to worry about my neighbor robbing me, killing me, that sort of thing, then I have the security that I need. I don't really need to pay large amounts of money to large groups of armed people to protect me. That's just a thought. Anyway, try to build a better society out there. Spartans got soft because of a culture next door to them. Yeah, possibly. Forgetting to be feral, I think, is the idea. It's like we're supposed to be wild creatures, but we have the ability to cooperate and work with each other in ways that other wild critters don't. And we've got more kitty hijinks going on behind me. Sarge, Mister, come on, hey, stop that. Come here, stop that.
Betty, you're supposed to be.
You're antagonizing Betty on the other side of the green screen. Stop it, Mister. Oh my gosh, he's like, but I want to play. I'm happy that you want to play. That's awesome. I'm glad. You should never lose your joy of play as you get older. It's wonderful. Are you comfy? You need me to put my leg down so that you have a better lap? Is that better? Okay, that's better. He's always wanted to be a lap cat.
He just makes really hurtful biscuits.
Huh?
He just makes really hurtful.
Oh yeah, he's got very, very sharp claws.
Never been trimmed.
He keeps them sharp. He maintains his claws very, very well, which means they're probably generally clean. So it's not that bad. Wham blam. Okay. Yeah, Old Testament judges. Nobody listened to them. Yeah, the story of Samuel. For the people that don't know this one, do I have enough time for a Bible story?
Yeah, like less than a minute.
We got enough time. So we're looking at 1 Samuel. Where is this? Chapter 8, verse 10 through 18. If you wanted to go look it up in your own book, I'm just going to paraphrase. Right. The story is this is a time that a lot of my ancestors were, of course, living the tribal life and not entirely adhering to natural law the way they're supposed to. They would have disputes among each other, and although there was a mechanism in place for them to settle disputes, they didn't always want to use that one. They saw that other countries around them were starting to rise up, and they had kings. They said, "Oh, we want to have a king too," right? And so there's a prophet out there by the name of Samuel that came to them when they came to him and said, "Can you appoint a king for us?" Because at that time, the prophets, the people that said that they had the ability to speak to God, whether they did or not, I don't know, and I'm not going to try to make that point. That was the people that the rest of the community would defer to. Is that you're the holy man? You tell us who should be the king. You name him, and that's who we'll have. And Samuel says, "Hey, look, you don't want a king. Now, he's going to come along. He's going to take your men, your young men, to serve in his armies. He's going to put them into his chariots. In the modern days, of course, it'd be the tanks, helicopters, airplanes, battleships, everything else, right? He's going to use them to war against the other nations. He's going to take your women to fill positions in his court. He's going to use them to make the foodstuffs and do all the womanly chores that were, there was a lot more distribution of labor between the genders back then. He's going to take the best of your vineyards. He's going to take all of that. He's going to give it to his servants, right? He's going to do these things, and then whenever you're full up on this and you realize that it was a bad idea having a king in the first place, God's not going to hear you. Of course, the unspoken part of that is you're going to have to do something about it yourself. All right. So now, of course, we're here, thousands and thousands of years later in an entirely different culture, but one that borrows heavily from my ancestors' literature for some reason. And once again, we have a situation where there was a king on this continent. Well, he wasn't on this continent. There was a king that claimed jurisdiction or authority, rulership over this continent. And the people said, no, I don't think so. We're going to do away with the king. But having not learned the lesson, they thought, let's have a substitute for a king. And instead of just having a king, we're going to have a replacement for him that we can change out periodically just in case he gets bad. Seems like a reasonable thing until you think about this for a moment, because 1 Samuel 8, verses 10 through 18, tell you what this person is that you're having a substitute for king. It's the same thing. You've just taken that office and power and authority and invested it in somebody that's going to rotate every few years. So instead of having a king that takes a lifetime to take his plunder from the people, you get this accomplished in 4 years instead of a lifetime. So progress, I guess. The plunder of a nation takes place even faster than under a king. And you never got rid of the problem that occasionally you have a good king and occasionally you have a bad king. That's always been the constant whenever you put people in positions of power and authority. You'll have people that follow natural law and understand what it is to have just authority. And then you're going to have people that go, well, I've just got authority. And it swings back and forth. That's the cycle of history whenever you create these positions of power. All right, that's enough of that. I've gone over my hour. Mary says, now I think he wants goldbacks. I do, just to have him around for local barter and trade in case the merchant down the street suddenly decides that he doesn't want to take the US dollar anymore. If you know what I mean. Don't need to have a lot. Just need to have enough to be able to do trade. Otherwise, I'd have to take whatever I have in the way of supplies and go in and barter those away to have the thing that I need to do trade in. May as well have the thing to do trade in to begin with. And that way I start out at parity instead of behind. Oklahoma chicken cam just inherited a Bengal. Heck of a Mauser. That's right. You need good Mausers. It's either that or you have to put up with the snakes. Like I said, they have their place. But I don't really like them in my house. So, one cat indoors is fine, I think. Yeah, Mary's right. Civilized people live in the jungle. Amazingly enough, right? Yeah, that's a little on the nose. It's a little on the nose, Sean. We have become Bilbo with our little cones on and have learned to enjoy the lap. Look, see? Oh, enjoying the lap. Well, the only reason is because I treat these animals in a way that I am worthy of the trust. Got to ask that question. Are we being treated in a way that's worthy of trust? Hi, Betty. Betty wants to play. All right. He says last dog. She was terrified of chickens. That's funny. Ooh. Hmm. Every parent has a problem. Yeah, kids hear you. They don't listen.
Huh?
Kids hear you, but they're not listening. Like, sure, yeah, right, mom, yeah, right, dad. We hear you, but we think we know better than you. At which point, as older folks are laughing because we remember being exactly like that. We were, oh yes, we were. The best thing I can tell you is kids, watch the old folks, watch the mistakes they make, try not to make those mistakes. But if they're telling you something, it's chances are they saw somebody else make that mistake already. And they're trying to let you know, don't do it. It ain't worth it. But of course, you have to have established a relationship, an honest relationship between your generations, or they don't know to trust you, right? That's why I tried to tell my kid as soon as she was able of comprehending it, honey, Dad's making it up as he goes along, just like everybody else. But I'm going to be honest with you about it. Makes things so much easier. So much easier. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. Good and hard. John saying George Washington never wanted to be a king. But you see, here's the thing. Whenever you put yourself in that position of being the chief executive, the titular head of government, the commander in chief of the armed forces, the appointer of the judiciary, these are all of the jobs conducted by the English monarch. So he's doing the job of the king. And unfortunately, doing the job of the king leads to doing the things that kings do. And that's what happened whenever George marched 13,000 troops on Pennsylvania during times of, well, what would otherwise be peace because of, Mary just mentioned this whiskey rebellion. That's he was doing the job of the king, and so he did the thing that kings do. Oh, the people are not appreciative of the laws that we have created for them without their permission or consent and are now imposing upon them. We have to march troops on them to subdue this rebellion. You see what the problem is, right? Well, that was what happened whenever the Constitution was overthrown in 1787. The Constitution was the Articles of Confederation, by the way. So you know. He's stuck with it. He seemed to be right on board the first time around, though, didn't he? Oh yeah. First, they learn to trust you, then they boss you around with those "please love me" eyes. Oh, please love me. You are just a disgrace as a feral cat too, Sarge. I'm just saying. Yep, yep. That is that's a good takeaway. Federalization. Well, he said that's the problem, right? I'm looking over here because this is where these two books are right now. We've got a copy of the Federalist Papers down here, Madison Hamilton J. And then up there, we've got the anti-featherless papers sorted. But of course, my favorite, of course, is Patrick Henry putting up the case. I was like, hey, wait a minute. What we're doing here, think this through. You're actually taking a lot of the power away from the people that we just won from England by doing this thing. So it's worth a read. Worth a read. All right. Shastra's going, okay, what y'all planting new this spring, everyone? Before we close out, getting ready to, I'm going to have to put you down, sir. No, I'm going to put you off of my lap. Not, who told you these things? No, I have to put you down here and close out the live stream, sir. Yes, I'm going to need my lap back. And Betty took your chair. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say about that. You moved your feet. You lost your seat. You know the rules. He's looking over there at her now. So he knows the rules. He knows the rules. Anti-Featherless is the next book to buy. Yeah, get it. Also, if you can get a hold of a copy, get a hold of the copy of the Articles of Confederation, and might have a talk with your state representatives about the lack of representation that Delaware had at the convention in 1787, and how that sort of invalidates the product that was produced, and what we're going to do about this rather unfortunate discovery that was hidden from the bulk of the American public whenever they were school children. Because let's face it, if you open up that can of worms, you realize something horrible. For 237 years. Hey, that's all I got for you tonight, good people. As always, I hope you found the video informative or entertaining. If you did, you know what to do. I'll catch you next time. But until then, get out there and get growing, if you can. I forgot to tell you about the plans that we've got. You're coming up here in a couple of days. We're going to be working on screening in the front porch so we can have an area there for starting plants and stuff like that. Look for those videos coming out soon. We're going to be doing a video on getting bottle gourds prepped up and ready to go. Of course, that means we're going to be increasing our number of viable bottle gourd seeds. So check www.greencountryagriforestry.com for our shop. We have, of course, the bottle gourd seeds for sale. Our corn is up for sale. Our corn is now dried and ready for shipping, so we have plenty of corn to ship out for the spring season. Get it while it lasts, because it won't last forever. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me tonight. As always, I hope you had a good time, and I will catch you later. Except,